Welcome to Vivid Vibes Podcast, where we talk about information for your soul's vibration. I'm Jada.
And I'm Laura.
And today we have a very special guest on the podcast. Her name is Kayla Anderson. Kayla is a self-love expert who guides women on a journey where they can stand in their authenticity, feel worthy, and live to their fullest expression. For the past 2 years, Kayla has been traveling the world, uncovering the ancient secrets of self-love while creating an online tribe of empowered women. By implementing the tools she has learned through multiple qualifications, psychologists, ancient cultures, and traditions worldwide, she is able to embody and experience deep states of love on a daily basis and has a passion for helping others to do the same through her online programs, workshops, and worldwide retreats. Welcome, Kayla.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here.
We are so excited that you're here.
Yes.
So, the first question we have for you, Kayla, is how do you raise your soul's vibration?
That is such a good question. I think that there are so many ways. Are you meaning like how do I personally raise my soul's vibration or just in
Yes.
general?
How do you personally raise your soul's vibration?
So I think for me, like raising my soul's vibration is very important when it comes to doing the things that your soul is actually calling for and asking for. Um, and we each have our own soul's purpose and things that our soul really loves and enjoys and feels, alive whilst doing. So for me to raise my vibration, I always and every single day follow what feels good. I follow what my soul and my heart is asking for and do the things that I really enjoy. And if anything is not in alignment with that, then that's always going to affect your vibration, because say, for example, you're in a relationship that you know deep down doesn't serve you, or you're in a living situation that you know deep down doesn't serve you, your vibration is going to lower too, because it's almost like you're going against your soul's deepest desires and the guidance that your soul is offering. So I think the biggest way that I raise my soul's vibration is just to follow my heart and listen to those inner callings by doing what feels really good.
Beautiful. Love
Thank
that.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, then, Kayla, the next question we have for you is we want to know your story. How did you get to where you are now?
So, it's a long story, I guess, but
We
pretty
have time.
much.
It's okay.
Okay, good. Let me go right back to where it all began. So, so I was, I started first of all like my self-love journey in 2014. But the reason I started my self-love journey in the first place was because I didn't feel good enough, and I actually ended up um, training to compete in a bodybuilding competition, and that all ended up going to a place that was really unhealthy and damaging for me. But the reason I actually even wanted to enter this bodybuilding in the first place was because growing up my entire life, I was always, seeing myself as the bigger one amongst my friends. I always, would try and cover up what I was wearing, well, try to cover up with what I was wearing, my body, because um, I naturally have like a bigger bum and wider hips, and that was not cool. People look at me now and they're like, how can you have hated your body when you've got like a Kim K ass? But like Kim K asses weren't cool in school. um, so yeah, throughout school, I never felt good enough, and that also stemmed from growing up in a home where my father was a drug addict, and my mum and my dad would spend a lot of their time arguing and fighting. My dad also, because he was really in this hard place in his life, he couldn't give us the love that we were deserving of and desiring as children. And he gave us love, and he done all that he knew in that moment, and he done the best that he could. But as a child growing up and feeling like my dad's never around, and why does my dad not want to see me when he's home, you automatically download the subconscious conditioning that I'm not loved, I'm being abandoned, I'm not safe. And so naturally, as a child, you grow up with these belief systems, and our belief systems determine our entire reality. And my entire reality was looking from the lenses of I'm not good enough. And so I felt all that way through school. I would cover up my body. Then when I got out of school and started, living in the real world, that's when I started my bodybuilding competition, because I thought to myself, okay, if I can be so skinny, have the perfect body, have abs, and win a bodybuilding competition, then I'll be worthy. Then I'll be accepted. And so that's what I started doing. I started training to compete. And because health and fitness was my only passion at the time as well, I started studying a Bachelor of Sport and Exercise Science. Um, the bodybuilding competition ended up really knocking me back in so many ways. It was one of the greatest growth periods and lessons in my life. And, I don't regret it for a second. But what came out the other side of that was me not making it to stage, because I ended up just binge eating to the next level. I had a binge eating disorder. I would go to the supermarket, like at my worst, I would buy like a packet of chips, a 4-pack of like muffins. One night I bought, this is all in one night, sorry. So that night I bought the chips, I bought the muffins, I think I bought some lollies. I also went to Pizza Hut, I bought some pizza, I went to McDonald's, I bought a McFlurry, and I ate it all. And I just remember sitting in bed and thinking, oh my God, like, I need help. This is not okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and I gained like over 12 kgs in a very short space of time. And I would just look in the mirror and I think, oh my God, like I am disgusting. Like I just honestly like could not even look at my body. And but I still looked at my body in the sense that every single meal I'm looking at my stomach. Has it grown? Oh my God, like I need to get back to the gym. Why can't I get back to the gym? Why don't I have motivation? So I'm just in this like tornado of like
Like
pain.
moving from a place of trying to like look for external things, it sounds
Mhm.
like,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
make you
and
feel whole.
yes, girl. That is my soul's that's actually why my soul's here on this earth. The main lesson that my soul is learning is to, um, have that validation from within. And so, like,
Yes.
these experiences are just allowing me to do that, so that's pretty exciting. But, yeah, so I ended up going to see a beautiful trainer, personal trainer, and said, "Okay, girl, you need to help me. I need a new meal plan. I need a new workout plan. Like, let's do this. Like, get me back on the game to the bodybuilding stage." And she looked at me and she said, "Kayla, you don't need a meal plan. And I'm not writing you a nutrition plan. You need to go home and you need to look in the mirror and tell yourself that you love yourself." And I was like, "What?" Hang
Wow.
on, excuse
Wow.
me. Because in my mind, I was actually so grumpy at this moment, because I was like, actually, like, no, this is not going to work. How could I ever possibly love my body like this? Like, how is that going to be possible? Like, I just could not see it. But because I was at rock bottom, I literally had no other choice. Like, I just had to. I had to. So I went home that first day. I looked in the mirror and I was like, I love you. And it was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever done. It just felt so wrong. But I started repeating it and repeating it, and then I was at the gym personal training myself at this stage, and so I started helping my clients with it, and I started becoming more and more passionate about self-love when I started noticing the difference just that one technique was doing for me. And then for the past 6 years, it's just been a journey of understanding that deeper and deeper and deeper. And I've done my yoga training with you, Jada.
Yeah.
Yes, life coaching, energy healing certification at the moment, meditation certification, and a whole heap of other different investments in myself in order to kind of understand this deeper, as well as you said, traveling around the world and learning it from ancient cultures. So that's my story in a nutshell, and that's where I am at the moment, just still on that journey, because that's the thing with self-love. It's like um it's an art, it's not a destination. It's something that we get to experience and work through on a daily basis.
That is
Absolutely.
beautiful. Yes, so well put.
I kind of just wanted to touch on what you were saying about going to external
Mm,
things to find your sense of wholeness, because
yeah.
I think so many people do that, and that's actually something that I personally have become really aware of recently.
Mm,
I reached out to you, Kayla, a little while ago about some things that I personally am going through with being single,
yeah.
because I've been single now for almost a year, which is a first for me. From the time I was like 16 years old, I've either been in relationships or talking to someone in a flirty way.
Yeah.
And I just kind of realized, that's me looking for someone else to say, hey, you're good enough. So it's like we really
Mhm.
have to define that for ourselves.
For sure. In some like Eastern cultures, they have their children in the dark for the first year of their life so the child can learn to build that love and everything that they need from within before they go into the external world. However, here
Wow.
in Western societies, we are taught from a very young age that fulfillment comes from without of us, from outside of us, and our emotions are based on what we're seeing in our external environments. We're looking outside of us. Cool. Is it sunny today? Awesome. I'm going to be happy. Am I having this meal today? Cool. It's a great day. Whereas, like in many different cultures, they are really, from a young age, brought up to understand that it comes from within, which I think is so cool. But you're so right. It's something that so many of us are having to understand as we come into that place of awareness and try and navigate as we do come from that place of internal fulfillment. I think it's such a um, difficult journey at times, but also so beautiful.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what is self love?
Mm. I feel like self love can be very personal to whoever you're speaking to, like I think self love means something different for everyone. Um, my definition, I guess, of self love is really coming to a place of full acceptance and unconditional love of all parts of you, and being able to authentically express yourself in this world from that place. And with that, because you love yourself and because you have respect for every single aspect of your being, your actions that you take within this world are based off a place of love. So I know sometimes, like when I speak to different groups of people, I always ask, like, who does something for self love each week? And often people say, like, yeah, I go get my nails done, or like, I go get my hair done. And that is like a small aspect of self love. But I feel like when I think about self love, it goes so much deeper than that. And it's literally just the full acceptance of and appreciation of every single part of you.
Right.
Absolutely. I really
Mm.
resonate with that. Like,
Yeah.
as far as accepting yourself, because I feel like love in general is acceptance. Like being able to tell someone else I love you, to me, is saying I accept you exactly as you are, where you are. I accept you. So to be able to give yourself that gift is so beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that actually. Like what you just said, Jada, that is really powerful.
Yes.
Thanks.
Very good. Now, so next question I have for you, Kayla, would be what is self care and what is the difference between self care and self love? And how do the two of them work together?
Mm. Yeah, I think like just going back to what I was saying before about getting your nails done and things like that, I feel like self care is almost caring for your physical body in a way, um, but also caring for all the other aspects of your being as well, like your mind, your body, and your soul. And it's, I guess I would say self care is looking after yourself, and then self love and how it ties together is because you're accepting of yourself and because you love and appreciate yourself, you then take actions based off that, and those actions are to care for your physical body and all aspects of your being so that you can thrive. So if you were to think of like examples, like self love would be an becoming aware of your limiting beliefs. It would be releasing the things that do not serve you. Self love would be accepting the parts of you that you've shied away from. Self love would be learning to express yourself fully. Self love is forgiving your past and forgiving the people that have hurt you so that you can take your power back. And then self care is, you know, doing all of the physical things that allow you to thrive because of that. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I love the way you
cool.
put that.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I think a lot of people confuse self-care with self-love. They think like, "Oh,
Mm.
I bought this bath bomb. I love myself." Like and don't get me wrong, like I feel like self-care is an act of self-love,
For
taking that
sure.
time to take care of your physical body is so important, but self-love, like you said, it goes so much deeper than that. It's like on a
Mhm.
soul level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bath bombs can't touch your soul.
that's
No.
right. This is reminding me I go through, or in my past I refer to some personal stages that were not so bright as my darker times. And I remember having this realization where I was having almost like a spiritual disconnect from my physical form. And being taking care of my physical form seemed like, yeah, I'll do what I need to get by, but ultimately I'm doing all this spiritual work, which is so much more important. And I
Mm.
had this like it took so much for me to kind of realize, oh my God, no, they have to work together because you can't deny your physical form and at the same time feed your soul. It was not, it was me wanting to be spiritual because I wasn't loving my body and
Yeah.
using spirituality as my excuse to disconnect from my body. But you have to kind of find this harmony of unionizing both because they're both so important. And like you were saying, my limited beliefs were holding me back from unionizing these two critical aspects.
Mm.
So it's really cool hearing your perspective on it all because it's like, oh yeah, hitting notes. You're hitting some major notes with me.
I love that so much. I think like that's a key thing to even include in this conversation too, because I know for me, when I was like, my self love journey is always changing. And at one stage of my journey, I was like, I love myself, so I do get to eat whatever I want. Yeah. Like, because I love my
Right.
body. But like, it actually is so true what you're saying. When we are neglecting our physical body and not nourishing it and doing what's best for it, that is coming from a place of lack of worth, because our worthiness is dependent on, and what we believe we are worthy of is dependent on how we are treating our bodies as well. So at the end of the day, when I was still going through that phase, I for sure still had a lot to do within the work of my feeling worthy enough to nourish my body, and really tying, all those things together as well. I think that is, something to remember. Like, self-love doesn't mean you can just eat everything. Like, self-love is actually like, hey, I freaking respect my body and I'm willing to do what it takes for my body to thrive. Because without a thriving, you know, even without a thriving gut, we can't have thriving mental health. And then without thriving
Right.
mental health, how are we going to have a clear mind that is supportive and is, nourishing and encouraging us? So it totally is all linked. And it's the best feeling ever when we can work in harmony with our bodies and fuel it in the ways that make us feel amazing.
Yes.
For sure. I think a
Mm.
lot of people don't realize too is that 90% of your serotonin comes from your gut.
Yeah.
So, whenever you're eating foods that maybe aren't so good for you, you're directly affecting your mental health.
Mm.
Yeah. And if we're looking at that like on an energetic level, well, your mental and mind chemistry is an extension from that energy. If you are feeding yourself low vibrational foods, you're going to feel like you're on a low
Mhm.
vibration. Or if you're
Mm.
treating it better, you're going to help yourself raise your vibration.
Mm.
Absolutely.
I love that.
So, when we were in Greece on the self love sale, which
Mhm.
was amazing, by the way,
Yay.
we danced every single morning.
Mm.
And I would consider that to be a ritual. So, for the people who are listening and feel like the word ritual sounds like, what are these girls, witches? Uh, maybe, but that's besides the point. Uh, but no, like routine, that's a
Mm.
routine that you do for yourself in the morning. So, what is the importance of ritual for you? And what kind of rituals do you do to tune into your sense of self worth and self love in the morning?
Mm. Oh, this is the best question. I'm so excited. Um, I'm so
I know you love
excited.
your morning ritual. So,
Yeah, well, the reason I get so excited about it is because literally, if anyone right now is listening and they're struggling in any way, this is the number one thing you can do to literally shift your entire reality. Like, the power of a morning routine, I just can't even express how life changing it is. And this is coming from the girl who thought she wasn't a morning person her entire life. So if you're sitting here and you're like, oh my God, but I hate mornings, like, girl, that is just a belief that's been created over time due to your conditioning, growing up, and it can be changed. How exciting!
yes.
That's the most exciting part as well. Is like, so many people think that because they don't love themselves, they'll never be able to change that. Well, actually, our mind can be changed. Like, we can create new belief systems, and it is possible. So I just wanted to throw that in there. But the morning ritual is extremely important in the sense that your morning vibration is your dominant vibration. So if you think in terms of manifestation and the law of attraction and how our emotions and our vibration creates our entire reality, then when we get up in the morning and when we start the day by looking at our phone, roll out of bed and just go and, start our day without giving ourselves the time to really thrive, that's the vibration that we hold throughout the day. And our ability to manifest from that space is never really that amazing. Plus, we don't give ourselves the opportunity to fill up our self-love cup, and throughout the day we're giving from that empty cup and we're much more exhausted because people were taking from our energy. We're not protecting ourselves. And so ever since I started doing my morning routines, my life honestly changed so much. And that is why, as Jada was saying, we get into dance in the morning, because if our morning vibration is our dominant vibration, we want to access peak states in the morning. We want to access places of pure happiness, love, and joy so that we can carry that vibration out throughout the day, and we're able to really come from a place of positivity and love in our lives. I feel like a morning routine as well sets you into the vibration of love rather than the vibration of lack and scarcity and fear, the vibration that majority of our um, society is living in. And so when we can stop in the morning and take ourselves back to a place of stillness and calm and peace, we are doing such wonders for ourselves. So, what a morning ritual looks like for me at the moment is it kind of changes depending on how I'm feeling, but I usually will move my physical body as soon as I can. You guys may have heard of the saying, your issues are in your tissues. And this is,
Yes.
Yes.
yes,
I say that all the time.
I love this quote. Um, and like we literally store, so much in our physical bodies, trauma, emotions. And when we wake up in the morning, we've been sleeping overnight and we can feel kind of stagnant. So being able to move straight away gets things flowing. And I like to think of, like, say, for example, if you visualize a river and the river's flowing, the energy's beautiful, and the water's fresh. Whereas if you visualize a pond that is, has no flowing water to it, it gets all the slimy green stuff, all the bugs that, like, you wouldn't want to drink that, you wouldn't want to go swimming in that. And that's where, like, negative stuff starts to grow and all of that, because it's stagnant, it's not moving. Whereas the river that's flowing is very healthy. You jump right in, you're not going to get like a disease for jumping in there. And so
No
I
amoebas.
you're going to be fine. So I like to visualize our physical body as that river. When we're not moving, when we're staying still, that same thing begins to happen. The energy within us becomes stagnant. We're more likely to have negative thoughts. We're more likely to have aches and pains. And so when I move my body, that is one of the main reasons I do that. Um, and it also releases happy endorphins and all of that. I'm sure you guys all know the benefits of exercise. Um,
Yeah, that's a great analogy with the river and the
yeah.
pond.
Yes. Oh, yes, I
And
love that.
thanks, guys. I learned that from this really, really interesting guy I met in Bali. He was taking me to the temples in Bali and showing me around the temples properly from like a really spiritual perspective. He was explaining everything about the temple, what way you should enter it, and all of that. And he gave me that analogy that day. But he also gave me the understanding too that the reason people that, have religions and cultures that have temples, and the reason they're always having the ceremonies and things within them is to keep the energy high, is to keep the energy flowing, because that stagnant energy is where, not so amazing things can come in. So, and that's when he also gave me the analogy of the river and the body too. So I thought that was really cool to understand, like, the more that we can raise our vibrations through these different, I guess, modalities, the more we're going to experience deeper states of love and peace within our lives. Um, so that is what I do. First, I always move my body through like walking or running. I just went for a bike ride this morning. Um, and then I'll do some yoga, which is, as you know, Jada, really, really powerful in the sense that you are getting into these asanas and postures, which are really allowing you to bring even more good energy into the body, but also release the things that you may be holding onto through your tissues. And then it incorporates breath, which is another powerful part of a morning ritual as well. What else do I do at the moment? I journal to get anything off my mind, and dance. So you guys may know that many cultures, ancient cultures throughout the world, have used these different tools for thousands of years for their healing abilities. Dancing has been used for thousands of years, and it is such a powerful tool to just elevate your state and make you feel amazing. And literally, when it comes to loving your life and having an amazing life and manifesting, and also releasing the belief systems that don't serve you, you literally just have to
Yeah.
be in love with life. You have to do the things that you love. And so, what I always say to people when it comes to a morning ritual is like, you don't have to do yoga, you don't have to do breath work, you don't have to do journaling. Like, what are your soul medicines? Like, what are the medicines of your soul? What feels amazing for you? Because the more that you do that in your morning routine, the better you're going to feel. But some of these other practices that ancient cultures have been practicing, such as yoga and all of those other things, are extremely powerful. Otherwise, they wouldn't be still around, like, so being able
Right.
to do those things is really cool as well. But does
Yeah.
that answer your question? I feel like
Yes.
I think so.
I
Definitely.
love everything coming out of your mouth, Kayla. You are providing quality content and just really I'm feeling amazing just by hearing you talk. This is awesome.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much. I just want to say one more thing about the morning ritual as well, because I know
Yeah.
for me the biggest thing when it came to starting a morning ritual was I can't get out of bed early enough. Like, that's really hard. And so
Mhm.
what I'd recommend to anyone listening who wants to start, doing something with their mornings that is empowering for them is literally just start by not having your phone in the morning. Like, for the first hour of your morning, don't have your phone, but also write down a list of the beliefs you currently carry about mornings. Maybe it's I'm not a morning person, maybe it's too cold or whatever. And then as you read those out, write out a new list of the new beliefs you're going to carry. And what I do is, because in the first 10-20 minutes when we wake up, our brain is still in like theta state, which is the perfect state that it needs to be in for downloading new belief systems. Um, and when we can access this and take advantage of that, we are able to let go of the old limiting beliefs that weren't allowing us to love ourselves easier. And the way that I do this, and the way that I get like most of my clients started with their morning ritual, is to create a list of affirmations, powerful new beliefs that are um, allowing you to feel love for yourself and allowing you to feel empowered. And you write them out. And then, because your subconscious mind recognizes your language and your voice more than anyone else's, in the first 20 minutes of when you wake up, listen to a recording of yourself. So write all the affirmations that you want to write. I love mornings. I feel amazing every day. I am beautiful, whatever else. Write that down and then record it and listen to that every single morning. And then don't use your phone. And that is going to be like a really, really powerful start.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Mm.
Cool. That's something people can start practicing immediately.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Same.
And then as well with I just like feel really bad not going into this too, because when I talk about affirmations, and I know for me when I first ever started affirmations, it was really hard because I was like, I am beautiful, I am enough. And what I want to just offer quickly is a way that you can say affirmations that is much more powerful and is going to reach into the subconscious mind to embody a new belief system much easier. So when we say, I am beautiful or I am worthy, that's going against a very strong belief system that's within our mind that's been around for thousands of years, for our entire life, pretty much. Because
Maybe thousands of years. What does past life regressions?
yeah, but
Yeah.
also passed down from our ancestors as well. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
this belief could have been, passed down to you. You could have embodied this belief as you entered this world through your parents. But anyway, so we want to let go of that. But because it's such a strong belief, because a lot of the time we've been holding these beliefs since the age of, like, between the age of 0 to 5, it was probably, created. And when we say I am enough, our brain is like, hang on, that really doesn't go with the current belief system that I have. And you can feel a lot of the time, I don't know if you guys can relate, you get like these blocks that you say I am enough, but your whole body's like, I just don't know if I
Yeah.
can relate.
A lot of mine are
Mhm.
around money because I've
Mm.
always like I've grown up with hearing things like, "Well, what do you think money grows on trees?"
Oh
or things
gosh.
like that. So whenever I hear things or whenever I say affirmations like, I'm a magnet for money,
Mm.
it just doesn't always feel like aligned. It makes me feel like I have a knot in my stomach.
Yes. Oh my god, I'm so excited that we're talking about this. um, so let me show you a different way, because when you say, like, I am a money magnet, first of all, your mind's like, hang on, girl, this goes against my belief system. But also,
Right.
our mind learns through evidence as well. So, a
Oh.
powerful way that we can use affirmations is to say, why am I a money magnet? And immediately your mind, because whenever we ask a question to our mind, the mind wants to answer it. So
Mhm.
immediately the mind's going, why am I a money magnet? Okay, I'm a money magnet because I signed up that client the other day. I'm a money magnet because I have a steady income that comes in of this much each month. I'm a money magnet because I always win the lotto, or whatever it might be. And the more that, because the reason the belief was created in the first place is because you would have had a thought, and then that thought was confirmed again another 3 times, and then boom, the belief's created. And so when we're creating new belief systems that are about loving ourselves, that are about being, worthy of money and all of that, we want to provide the mind with as much evidence as possible as to why the new belief is true. So that's
Right,
why.
in hypnosis, we call that compounding suggestions.
Oh my gosh, tell me more about that. That sounds really interesting.
Well,
Or
that's exactly what you were saying.
okay,
Like,
okay.
that's when something comes up over and over and over again, whether you're conscious to it or subconsciously being subjected to it, it
Hmm.
compounds the evidence for that. So it pre-programs your subconscious mind. So it's exactly what you're saying.
Wow, that's so cool. I love that. Well,
So I have a question when it comes to that. So whenever we learn about the law of attraction and all of this, right? They say that if you um let's say you don't have examples of why you're a money magnet,
mm,
then what would you do in that case? Because, they talk about whenever with the law of attraction and all of that, that, oh, you're supposed to imagine this thing as if it's already yours and
yeah.
all that. So, where would you come from for a person who maybe hasn't really been a money magnet, but wants to be a money magnet?
Literally, like, we can always find some sort of evidence. It's just about taking to the mind to that place that it's not used to going. So the reason they can't see the evidence a lot of the time is because the mind is looking at the world from a place of lack. And we often can't see the evidence because we're sitting in that space. And that's the power of the affirmation. It's forcing you to see the positive and shifting your perception from lack to actually, hey, okay, yeah, there are examples that I can think of where things have happened to me that have been abundant, that have been magical. Um, and once you take this simple shift, that's when you allow more abundance to start flowing, because you are allowing your brain to go, oh, actually, yeah, I have had these examples happening, and there are currently things happening in my life that do allow for that. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And like honestly, even hearing you say that, it's like this immediate switch of like, oh
Mm,
wait, I do have examples of that. It's just like the
yeah.
lens, the perspective that we're looking through.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. And that is why the why affirmation is so powerful. But also there's another style of, oh, actually finishing off as to why that's so powerful too. The more that you give yourself these examples as to why, the more that it starts to become important to the subconscious mind too. And throughout the day, the subconscious mind will look for more evidence as to why that's true
Oh.
throughout the day. So it's something like being able to use a why affirmation is something that's setting you up for like the whole day, instead of just standing in the mirror with a knot in your stomach feeling like you're going nowhere, you know?
Right, right.
Um, and then there's the thank you affirmation, which is going off what you were just saying, Jada. Like, when it does come to manifestation, the universe is, answering our every, I guess, need, in the sense that if we have limiting beliefs and fears, the universe is giving us more of that. But if we change those thoughts to loving beliefs and trusting beliefs and excitement, we get that as well. And so by using a thank you affirmation, you're putting your vibration into the space of, I already have this, thank you for that. And so when it comes to like self love, you can say, like, thank you for my beauty. Thank you for my worthiness. Thank you for my abundance. And through coming from this thank you place, you're coming from a much more positive and deeper knowing that it's a much more positive place, and a deeper knowing that it's already yours, rather than looking in the mirror and saying, I am, and getting those blocks as well. So that's another powerful way of doing affirmations too. But I,
Beautiful.
Nice.
I just remember one of the biggest realizations for myself on my personal spiritual evolutionary path was how learning how to trust that the universe will provide exactly what you need. And I remember when I had my son, I had to get myself out of this state of worrying that I didn't have enough to provide for him. And I forced
mm,
myself, like I had to one of those affirmations I would tell myself was, all right, I just have to trust that I have everything that I need right now. I'm not living on the streets. I might not have my car the way I need it because I was struggling with a bad car at the time. But you know what? I have what I need to get by right now. And I'm trusting that as long as I'm okay with what I have rather than what I don't have, I will never I won't find myself in a position of just driving myself crazy that I don't have enough, that I don't have
mm,
what I need. Like switching gears in that direction has been one of the most useful techniques or tools
mm.
I gave myself to continue to evolve. And you know what? Eventually in time, I did have my evidence. You
Yeah.
know, my evidence was providing because I was trusting. I was forcing myself to like be okay with what I have, and that in itself is a form of gratitude. Being like, okay, I have what I need right now. It's okay. It's not the worst it could be.
Yeah. That I love
But
that, and how powerful is gratitude. It's, oh,
oh yeah,
so
that's so
amazing.
great.
That is such a beautiful story.
Well, thank you. Now, I did want to ask you, um, how have you manifested such a huge and loyal following?
Wow. I'm just thinking back to when I first started my Instagram, to kind of answer this question. I think for me, because I first started my Instagram in the bodybuilding days, and I was sharing that entire journey. And then from there, because I wasn't ever on Instagram to sell anything or expect anything of anyone. I was just literally sharing my journey and being vulnerable as well, like sharing the hard times, sharing what I was going through, and showing up on there every single day. Um, and I think that that really enabled me to have a strong connection with the people who were following, because they trusted me, because I was being vulnerable, I was being real. And as I, took my business online and started traveling and things like that, it was almost like I had that credibility behind me. And because I show up on there so frequently, I literally would show up on there every single day in my stories and just posting goodness, but also promoting my business as well. It just led to so many opportunities to, I guess, see people coming in just naturally from that, but also working with other people on Instagram, other businesses, to bring little influxes of followers in as well. But I think that if I was to say the main thing that's helped me to grow my following, it's literally just showing up as me and being genuine, because, like, in a world that so many people are being so fake and, I guess, salesy on Instagram.
Yeah,
People love to see
inauthentic.
that. Yeah. But I've actually
People just
Oh, sorry.
it seems like sorry, it just seems like so many people on Instagram wanna show this single facet
Mhm,
of themselves. They wanna paint on this happy face, and then people go on Instagram and they compare themselves
mhm,
to all of these people who look perpetually happy, and they think, "Why am I not happy?" So it's like when you
yeah,
show up authentically, you show up as a leader,
mhm,
because you're providing an example for people to be okay with themselves as they are.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That is powerful. Being able to, and, like, show up and give people the permission to do the same, hey? Like, oh, that's amazing. I've just actually gone off Instagram though, because I got caught up in that. Like, I was just in LA at the start of the year and I was posting so much and I was feeling so inauthentic to my truth. And I I literally just quit my Instagram a few weeks ago because I was thinking, like, why am I even showing up here? What is my purpose anymore? And I just didn't feel like I was coming from a place of love anymore. And I felt inauthentic and I felt like it was a negative space for me. Um, and so I've taken a step back to really come back into alignment with my values, because it so is easy to get swept up in the Instagram life and forget that there's a real world around you. Um,
Yeah. It almost becomes a part of your subconscious too when you're out doing stuff. You're like, "Oh, I should put this on my story."
yes, we were just saying this the other day, Jada. It's like
Yeah.
you're out and you're like, oh my gosh, cool, everyone needs to see this. No, actually, they don't.
Yeah, right? Actually, I just need to eat my fucking ice cream.
Yeah. And I think the biggest I love that. I think the biggest shift as well for me is like I really am at a place right now where I'm not seeking external validation. And for the starting of my journey with Instagram, like that was why I created it, was for people to see me and see how well I was doing with my bodybuilding, you know? And so I think like it just ended up feeling quite out of alignment. And once we get to a place where we just feel so full within ourselves, I feel like being on social media is something that can often bring us down a lot.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel that. Like, I'm in a place right now where I'm trying to build a business online. So it's like I'm
Yeah.
trying to make myself get out there and spread these messages. And I keep getting these cards when I do my oracle card readings that talk about spreading messages. Like,
Mm.
I don't know if you remember, Kayla, when we were on the self-love sale, all of the clarity I was having was
Yeah.
about spreading messages of love.
Oh my god, that gives me
And
goosebumps.
yeah, and at the time, I thought that that meant singing because I love singing.
Mm.
And then after doing some reflection, I was teaching a yoga class one day and I said this one visualization and I literally felt the vibration in the room shift.
Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, it gives me chills talking about it. But it was like a light visualization about picturing a funnel of light over your heart space and seeing it fill up your whole body and then seeing that light shine out of you and fill up the whole room and you could feel the energy in the room change.
I love
And
that.
something just so clearly said to me, this is how you spread messages of love.
Mm.
And it was just like, whoa, like it wasn't this like grandiose plan that I had to have to like, start a reggae band and get on stage. It was like, wait a minute, I'm already doing it. I just need to amplify what I'm doing now. So
Yes.
kind of coming back to Instagram, now it's like I'm trying to find this balance of
Mm.
authenticity of showing up for myself and doing what feels good to me, but also, building this tribe of
Yeah.
people who want to raise their vibration. So it really is it's a balance.
One thing that I ask myself, or have been asking myself, like in the past few weeks before I went off, was, is this post coming from pure love and desire to just be of service to others? And that's how I would share posts. And so I feel like when you're coming from that, like the universe is always going to provide for you. So that's the question
Yes.
I think that many people could ask themselves if they're trying to grow their Instagram or their online business, is literally like, how can I serve? Because people love so much when you are just serving with no expectation. They're like, take my money, even if you're not selling anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Because you just want to help. You just want to be of service. One thing
Yeah,
I've been doing in my morning ritual, I've actually been in like I've been doing cacao ceremonies every day
it's so
since I've
cool.
been in self quarantine.
Mm.
So I'm going through like massive amounts of cacao. Um, but it just is really helping me to live intentionally and not
Mm.
sit on the couch and binge watch Tiger King, which I also
I
but
have heard that this I've heard of this Netflix documentary, but I have not. Is it a
dude,
documentary? Series?
you're gonna be like,
What? It's
what
insane.
are Americans
Oh
like?
my god.
Did you know that there are more tigers in captivity in the United States than there are in the wild in the entire world?
Oh my god. Oh, that is
Isn't that
so sad.
disgusting?
And this whole isolation thing has been making me feel so much too. Like, think of the animal, like everyone that like goes to zoos and things like that. I'm like, I hope you're thinking of the animals right now as you're stuck inside.
Yes.
Yes.
At the end of that show, the Tiger King ended up in prison and he said, like, I'm in a cage.
Yeah.
Oh,
um,
really? Oh, he ends up in
yeah,
prison.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But anywho, getting back to the topic. Got a little derailed there for a second. But no, just like waking up and setting that intention in my cacao
Mm.
ceremonies. You set a different intention each time you have a cacao ceremony, but a lot of the time in the morning, I am finding myself saying things like, Spirit, like, speak through me today, open me up as a channel.
Mm.
And I really am learning, even through Instagram and having this time of self reflection and isolation, realizing how much I was making it about me and realizing it's not about me, it's about the message.
This is so
It
powerful.
Yes, like the message is what's powerful. It doesn't
Mm.
matter who it's coming from, as long as it's coming out and it's authentic and it's from a place of love. It's like there's a Marie Forleo quote that says, I am the faucet and God is the water. Like,
Mm.
just opening yourself up to be that channel. I think that's really what's
Yeah.
important.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is amazing. I love that, Jada. That's so cool that you're going through this experience at the moment and you've got the time to dive deeper into that as well. So
Yes,
cool.
thank you. Honestly, Kayla, like, meeting you has really, like, I feel like whenever you meet someone and you catch yourself saying, well, like, why can she do that? It's because you have this mirror within you that's saying,
Mm.
like, you could do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, before I went to India, and that's where you and I met, was in India doing our yoga instructor certification. Before I went there, I always had this idea of, like, oh, I want to be a digital nomad and I want to work from my
Mm.
laptop. And even before that, there was this idea in my head of, like, I want to solo travel. And I met another girl who solo traveled. And for the longest time, I thought, like, well, how does she do it? How does she do it? And then I just did it. And I was like, oh, that's that's how you do it. And then I met you, and I heard you say, when we were all introducing ourselves, you were like, my job is teaching other women to love themselves. In my head, I was like, psh, what is she talking about? And then, like, 6 months later, I'm on a fucking sailboat in Greece with you learning how to love myself. Like, I was like, "Oh, shit. Okay, universe." Like, whenever we have those feelings of, like, I guess kind of putting someone on a pedestal, like, whenever we
Mm.
have those feelings of jealousy towards someone, it's not because we can't have what they have. It's because there's something in our soul that says you also have this capability.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. I love that so
Yeah.
much. I love that you've touched on this because literally, like, I was facing so much comparison just a few months ago, and I was putting people on pedestals as well, not in terms of the way people's bodies look anymore, because that used to be me, but it was now in their business and how successful they were. Successful, I say with like little bunny ear fingers, because what even is success? It's very different towards whoever you ask. But
Yes.
I feel like the most important thing to know is like, we are all equal, and it's such an important reminder for all of us. And no matter where you are in your journey, I feel like those comparisons can always creep in, but you're so right. It's always a reflection, a mirror saying like, hey, this is what you get to look at now, like, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Mm.
absolutely. I feel like that's such an important thing to remember too, is like nobody in this world is more worthy or less worthy of anything than you are. Like,
Mm.
if you really take a moment to think about it, we're all like, grains of sand in the universe. And to some people that's so scary, but to me that's comforting.
Less
Like,
Mm.
pressure.
Yes, like, one of my favorite things to do is just stand by the ocean and look at the ocean, because
Mm.
it makes me remember how small we are in the universe. And it's like, why, if we're putting anybody up on a pedestal and saying, oh, this person has everything I want, we're forgetting our own worth. And to remember that, like, we're all just grains of sand in the universe is like, oh, wait a minute. If they're doing that and I feel that way, then also have that capability within myself. It's just about acknowledging the fact that nobody in this world is more or less worthy than we are.
Hell yeah.
100%.
And also,
Sorry, go ahead.
our
Yes.
physical bodies are made up as the same stuff as stars. Like, we may be a grain of
Yes.
sand, but we're also like literally stardust. Like, we are so amazing. We are freaking
Yes.
amazing. Oh my God. We are amazing. We can do anything. That is so exciting.
Yes. We can. We're like our energy too is just like this radio frequency in the universe. You know, when we think about the law of attraction and when we talk about the law of attraction, we have the ability to not even create, but to co-create with the universe. How beautiful is that?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm getting really excited
Yeah,
talking
me
about this.
too.
I know, this has been really awesome.
I've got the biggest smile on my face. Like, we are this is the coolest thing as well when it comes to loving yourself, is you realize that you are actually magic. You can do anything. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. So, when we were in India doing our yoga instructor training, I had a moment where I was feeling really low and I told you that I was homesick. And you told me that you discovered from traveling around that home wasn't a place, it was a feeling that
Mm.
was within us. And that little token of wisdom has really stuck with me. So, how do you access that feeling of home within yourself?
That is so cool that, like, when you just said that, oh my God, that made me feel so happy because literally, like, I can't even remember saying that to you, but it's like it's so cool because obviously for you to bring that up now, like, it has really sat with you and like impacted you. So that makes me so happy. Um,
Yeah, dude. It really it helped me a lot when I was in Athens and I had what we were calling the spiritual flu. And
oh
I
my
was like
God.
I I had like a fever. It was 80 degrees outside and I was like felt like I was dying and
Mhm.
I just wanted to be home so bad and I was like home is a feeling within you. Home is a feeling within you. Just meditating, doing yoga.
Oh, I love that. Gosh, that whole experience in Greece was such a growth period. Oh my God.
Oh my god, yes it was. Like honestly, that inspired me to want to host retreats. I think I actually brought it up while we were on the retreat and now it's
Mm.
like I think about it in my visualizations all the time.
Oh my gosh. You have to, Jada. That would be
I will.
incredible. Okay. I'm
I totally
definitely
will.
coming along when you do. Um,
Yes. Oh my god. That'd be awesome.
I'm just thinking of what you asked me now. So your question was, how do you find home within yourself?
Yes.
Mm. It's so cool that you say that because when I said that to you, I was just coming to that understanding myself. Like, it was like I'd already been traveling for around, I think 5 or 6 months solo at that stage. And I was also overcoming a very real fear of being alone as well. So to have to learn that throughout my travels was really important to me because, I was so homesick. Like, I really wanted to come home, but I wanted to also grow and experience this journey that I'd set out for. So I think having that feeling of home within you is in any place that you are, learning to access that place of just love and stillness. And that can be done in so many different ways. It can be done in just being out in nature and fully being present in that moment. It can be done by, like, I found when we were in India, Jada, like, I felt so at home because we were so dedicated to our yoga practice and doing things that were really nourishing for our souls. Um, but I feel like the more that you do those things that just feel really good for you, in order to raise your vibration and help you to feel amazing from the inside, is really, really powerful when it comes to that. But also just even having the awareness that you have the ability to feel at home within yourself is powerful too. And I feel like feeling at home within yourself, in order to do that, we have to love and accept ourselves too. We have to be accepting of all parts of ourselves. So the more that we give ourselves, loving affirmations, the more that we nurture ourselves and nurture like our inner child, the more we create a home from within by looking in and facing all of the things that we might be scared to face. I feel like we slowly become more and more connected to that feeling of home through that as well.
Beautiful.
Very beautiful. Oh,
Thank
love
you.
it.
Laura, do you have any other questions that you would like to ask Kayla?
Oh my gosh. No, I think we're good because you have just been this beautiful fountain for us today. Like everything that you were talking about just like resonated on such a poignant chord. Like, I am so happy we had you on today for this episode. This has been incredible.
Oh, thank
Yes,
you
Kayla,
so
thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you guys so much for having me. Like, I love so much talking about this stuff. It just brings so much joy to my life, and being able to connect with you guys means the world. Knowing that this podcast is just going to go out to however many people and they can experience it and be inspired, like, that is such a privilege. I just feel so grateful. So, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, where can people find you, Kayla?
Wow. I just stopped Instagram, but
So not
but I'm
there.
still gonna. I, it's still there. So like all of the content that I've made throughout the past few years is still on there. It's Kayla and then _ Anderson Health. And so I think I will come back to Instagram eventually. Just at the meantime, I'm coming back to my core why and understanding my vision, and then I'll probably come back in a few months or something. But otherwise, I'm also I have a website which is www.kandersonhealth.com, and that's where you can find all the updates to my retreats and free ebooks and stuff like that. And then I'm on Facebook as well at Kayla Anderson Health there too. So lots of different places
Oh,
to find me.
wonderful.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, guys. If you liked this episode, please write us a review on the Apple Podcasts or iTunes store. We would love that so much. Also, feel free to join us in the Vivid Vibes tribe, where we continue the conversation after each podcast episode and provide you guys with exclusive content. Thank you so much and have a great day. Namaste.
Namaste.